Do you know if your horse is straight? It can be so confusing for riders. I can remember back when I was taking clinics and one of my very highly respected instructors said to me, straight is straight. But what is straight? What does it mean? How do I get it? And so if these are questions you are asking yourself, how do I know if my horse is straight? Or how do I get a straight horse? Then that's what we're going to chat about, the hows. Hi, my name is Chris Adderson. I'm the founder of For the Horse. My mission here, and you can help me, is to make horsemanship and good riding, good horsemanship and good riding available to any rider and their horse. You can help by clicking the like button or the love button or subscribing, clicking the bell icon, helping the algorithm to show this to more people. Now, if you're asking these questions, that is a good thing. It's important. It's really important for you to follow your intuition and not just follow something that somebody has said to you before. Straight is straight. Well, what does that mean? That doesn't really help me. So it's good to follow your intuition, to continually ask questions like these, and to question what you're hearing. Straight is not a position. It's dynamic. It's ever evolving and it's ever changing. It's never the same from one moment even to the next moment. It may be different from day to day, from week to week, or even, year to year, depending on how your horse slept that night before, or how your horse played with his herd mates, or the level of training that you're at with your horse, or your level of understanding, or your ability to feel straightness. So there's so many factors that come in there that are always changing. It's not something that's static. It's not a position, but what it is, straightness is a feeling. When we know how to feel what is straight within our horse and what is not straight, conversely, then we know how to proceed. You can take the extremely slow route to get here. If you don't understand, if you don't know how to feel when your horse is straight, then you just won't get there, right? That's the bottom line. You have to know how to feel it. And there are many routes to get there, right? There's a slow route where you're experimenting yourself day in, day out, trying to find out what it is. I know, I did that. There's a route when if you have an instructor that's telling you what to do to make your horse straight. I know, I've done that. And there's also a faster route where you get deep into how to feel. And that's what I do. That's what I do in my program. Whatever route, I would advise you not to do things that are designed to make your horse straight. Okay, you're not going to ever make your horse straight by putting your leg here, or by carrying your horse, or by supporting your horse in this way, or by forcing it to happen. It's just not possible. How do we know, first of all, when our horse is straight? It starts within our bodies. It starts within our bodies, our level of awareness of where we are. Are we straight or are we not straight? If we don't know this, how can we possibly help our horse? So, in our program, if you get a chance to work with us, this is what we attend to first. We jump straight in to how straight you are. And we have a methodology of doing that is simple and fun at the same time. So we are showing you how, through quality movement and guidance, what balance actually is by you experiencing it. And that's where the key is. You need to experience what straightness is, what balance is within your body. If not, you can be totally off balance and asking your horse to become straight, but what that ends up being is that you're pulling on the reins, or you're sitting off to the side, or you're making huge movements, and that just does not work. This is different for each rider. That is important as well, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You can have compensations within your own body. We all do, but the question is, how do you take your body and your compensations that you're living with, and how do you create straightness out of that? And then how do you feel that straightness? And then how do you feel when you're not straight? And I'll give you an example of one of our students who's in our program. She's ridden horses all her life and actually was previously an endurance rider and loves endurance. Have put a lot of time and a lot of mileage on a horse. And she also is very athletic, very active in her own life. She goes cross-country skiing every day in the winter, canoeing in the summer. She has a lot of control of her own body and a lot of knowledge around it. All this knowledge and experience, she still, though, didn't know how to feel. And that became very clear to her when she got a horse that was different, that she didn't understand, that she didn't know how to deal with this horse who was not straight. That was the source of her problem. Her other horses had mostly been Arabs and had a great deal of straightness within their bodies naturally, just like we come with an amount of straightness in our bodies, horses as well. So she joined our program, and we teach the foundations of pure quality movement. And she hadn't experienced this before, but when she started to experience it, the slow, careful movement that we take you through, she realized that she was doing part of it, but she didn't recognize it. So in her cross-country skiing, she was doing parts of what we were now helping her to recognize and become attuned to and extremely aware of. So that made it so much easier for her to ride her horse and recognize and feel when her horse was not straight and be able to do something about it. Because it's really interesting with this student, her name's Lucy. She had always thought that she wanted a really go-y horse or a really excitable horse, right? That was what she thought melded with her personality. But when we showed her how to work more deeply and how to communicate deeply on this level through the pure quality of the movement with her new horse, she could now have a conversation, and the depth and the intrigue to horsemanship opened up for her. So she could now explore how to move with even the smallest of touches, or even a thought pattern, an energy or an intention with her horse. And that's when she really started to get out of that confusion and fog and overwhelm that she came to us with and find out how to really ride her horse straight and in balance. All right, let's go to the second question, which is, how do we get a straight horse? How you get a straight horse is once you have the feeling, right? Once you've experienced it, once you know how to tap into the feeling very clearly for yourself, then you use very subtle communication, subtle movements with your horse, and guide them along this path to get closer and closer to straightness. Okay, remember at the beginning I said that straightness is not finite. It's not a position. It's forever changing, and there's so many variables that affect straightness. But you want to be always working closer and closer and closer to being straight, and then how to keep straightness for longer and longer. Right? It's going to leave. Yes, it's going to disappear. It's going to come back, and it'll come back maybe for a glimpse, a second, and then it disappears again. But if you don't know how to recognize that, like Lucy, then you'll miss it. And then what? If you miss it, how can you progress if you're missing those opportunities? I want to also emphasize that it's quality in the movement. And this you can see in really well-trained dancers or skiers, where they make the movement or the activity that they're doing look completely effortless. Now, each of us has attributes that we bring to the saddle, right? And for me, I was a professional dancer, and I was taught quality movement. There's a lot of dancers out there who are not taught in a quality way, just like riders. It's rampant. But I explored quality, and this is what I bring to my program, is that the quality movement that I know how to find and I can feel within my body, I've put into a program where you can access it and get it fast. It doesn't take long. It doesn't have to take years. You don't have to be years in the saddle in order to know how to feel straightness. It can happen fairly quickly. And so what I've done is I've broken this down for riders, because we all come in with different attributes, right? We're not all professional dancers, or we're not all highly trained athletes. Of course not. But the methodology that you want to look for is one that's going to help you to find the feeling of straightness. That's what you need. And so what I've put together is a methodology that's simple. It's easy to commit to. It's not easy to do. I mean, it takes work. Everything of quality takes time and takes work, but it doesn't need to take so much time where you're like flailing around wondering what the feeling is that you're looking for. And it can shave like tens of years off of your journey, off of your learning curve towards horsemanship and feeling straightness. So you will know when you're straight, you will know when your horse is straight, and then you'll know what to do about it, because then we show you how to access your place of potential, which is that place where you can most easily feel what is straight in the saddle, out of the saddle, throughout your life. Find it from the inside. Okay, so it's not someone outside telling you what to do. And this is key. When you're in that place, you are instructor dependent. But when you know how to find your place of potential, your place where you can feel with extreme accuracy when your horse is straight, that's when you have freedom. That's when you are independent. You will then be able to be effective in the saddle and go beyond the aids of making your horse straight. You will be beyond actually moving your horse away from pressure, right? Or yielding. Rather, it's utilizing your spine with your horse's spine, uniting both of you by surrounding your horse with your legs and guiding your horse in this passageway of straightness. And you will know how to feel it, and of course, know how to respond. And that doesn't mean that it's, like I said, making your horse straight by force. It's not carrying. It's not correcting your horse over and over and over again. It's not making your horse into a pretty picture that maybe your instructor sees from the outside or somebody sees, right? It's from the inside out. It's the feeling out, which will then create absolutely gorgeous, straight movement and a happy horse, and a horse that's willing. So when you're approaching your horse in this way and you're looking for the straightness, you'll feel things get lighter, right? You'll feel your horse lighter underneath your seat, underneath your body, and you'll feel your horse lighter underneath your hand. And that tells you that you're on the right track. If you can help me to get the algorithm behind us by liking or loving this post and sharing it, or pressing the bell icon, subscribing, any of those things, so that the algorithm can show this to more people, then that will help me with my mission to get horsemanship and good horsemanship, excellent horsemanship and riding out there to riders and horses. Thanks for being here and spending your time with me. I value your time, and I will see you next week.